The parched earth of California's Central Valley is begging for rain. And so are the farmers who use it to grow a majority of the nation's fresh produce. Those who make a living with agriculture are enduring their fourth straight year of record drought that has been pounding California and other western states.
Given our economy and our way of life here at Merced, it's I think to look at this lake this low is heartbreaking is probably the word for it.
Merced Irrigation District Public Relations Officer Mike Jensen spoke with Market to Market in January of 2014. At that time, he was referring to the level of Lake McClure, one of the primary sources of surface water for farmers in the district. The lake was at 22% of its average level. When we returned in June of this year, Lake McClure held a scant 12%, sending nothing but bad news downstream.
This year, for the first time, growers within Merced Irrigation District will get no water from Lake McClure. Their only water that they will have access to is groundwater. Some of our growers have private wells that they'll be able to use, and some of our growers are in areas that they can get access to MID's wells, where we're going to be pumping a minimal amount of groundwater, but it's a mere fraction of what they would depend on typically from this lake.
When Market to Market spoke with almond producer Jeff Marchini 18 months ago, he was less than optimistic about yields in and around his base of operations near La Grande, California.
Almonds are a permanent crop, but there's going to be a lot of ground that's fallowed this year because of a lack of water, and there's only X going around. So you're going to see growers take whatever allocation they have or whatever fine amount of water and use it maybe to keep their permanent crops alive. And fallow those rotational crops. So there's going to be a lot of things that are just not going to get planted.
A year and a half later, Marchini was defending the amount of water he was using to keep his remaining trees alive.
Everybody, throughout the valley has made changes, adjustments to try to get us through predominantly our permanent crops this year. Who we are as American farmers are, we're tasked with the job of feeding the world, right? I just want to feed California at this point, and we're going to have difficulty doing that as we continue down the road if we don't acknowledge the value of the water.
Water has always been a contentious issue in the Golden State, but the fight over how and how much of the precious resource will be used in the nation's salad bowl is heating up. While 77,000 farmers continue to find new and different ways to squeeze more water out of Mother Nature's grasp, some believe that farming is the culprit for the water shortage that California's 38.5 million residents are facing. The California-based Sierra Club, a grassroots environmental organization that credits itself with helping pass the Clean Water Act, thinks farmers could do more. In a statement to Market this week, Sierra Club Sacramento president Catherine Phillips said, "A majority of farmers have not done enough to reduce their water usage during the severe drought, either by not updating to the latest irrigation technology or by continuing to plant water-intensive crops. If this drought becomes the new normal, farmers are going to have to do more. Everyone needs to do more." According to a study by the University of California, Davis, the drought has already rung up $2.7 billion in damages due to lost crops, livestock losses, and increased payments for pumping groundwater. The study goes on to show an estimated 565,000 acres of farmland will be fallowed due to the drought.
No one wants to see that kind of activity taken out of the economy. But when you look at the resilience of the California agricultural economy and the diversity that we have, that's really going to help carry us through. Now, of course, the longer this drought continues, the more inevitable some of those hard decisions will be.
Rice producers north of Sacramento are faced with those hard decisions this year. They will plant 175,000 fewer acres of rice because of the dry conditions. Some farmers found that selling their water made more money than raising a crop. Who gets to pull water from California's rivers for agricultural use is based on who has the strongest rights to do so. Farmers who own land settled before 1914 have riparian water rights, also called senior rights. These allow a property holder whose land borders a stream or river to use the water as they see fit. In an unprecedented move, senior water rights holders in the Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta voluntarily cut water usage by 25% in hopes of avoiding harsher government-imposed restrictions further down the road. The farmers proposing the deal would either take less river water for irrigation or leave 1/4 of their crops unplanted. The water users with less secure usage rights or junior water rights are not afforded the same luxury. Earlier this spring, post-1914 water rights holders received curtailment notices to stop all pumping from drought-starved streams in the Central Valley. Those producers are now relying solely on underground wells to supply their operations.
In my opinion, water rights are an integral part of your land. I don't think there is a perfect system, but the water rights seniority system, the older they are, the more secure they are, is as good as any system I've seen.
As the battle over water continues, some see the opportunity to find common ground on what it takes to flourish in the face of this record drought.
And I view this as an opportunity to talk about, here's how I use water, and here's what I'm doing to reduce my water use, and here's what we all get as a result of how I use my water with regard to the crops. People in the state adore having local foods, and they understand more and more that it takes local farmers, and now they're understanding that it takes water. So I view this as an opportunity for a conversation to really reconnect urban and rural California. We're in this together. It will take every Californian to really do their part.
For Market to Market, I'm Paul Yeager.